just to reiterate, Tony Blinken, so Secretary of State, he's calling for a ceasefire in Sudan, and that's great. That's what we need, right? The European Union also calling for a ceasefire. The United Nations, everyone, Antonio Guterres, everybody is calling for a ceasefire. Where is this energy when it comes to Ukraine? Is it perhaps because in Ukraine, the weapons manufacturers are making money by keeping this conflict going as long as possible? Does that have something to do with it? Is it perhaps because you can't kill enough Russians in Sudan, but you can in Ukraine? I sense a lack of enthusiasm when it comes to peace talks in Ukraine. And Ukraine, you could argue, needs it the most. But again, it's not a question of who deserves or needs it the most. Both warrant a ceasefire, and the United States, being so involved in Ukraine, must absolutely ask for one and endeavor to accomplish that, because the people of Ukraine deserve that, the world deserves that, and this is needed. I mean, they should have engaged in diplomacy with the Russians in the first place to avoid the war even taking place, but it's already happened now. We can't change that. So what do? You go for a ceasefire, and then you go for reconciliation, and then you get a Russian withdrawal, and so on, right? No. Let's just keep going, come on, more, raise the military budget, give more billions, in so-called aid. It's not aid. The guys who build bombs, they don't give out bombs for free. They don't give out bombs because they have, warm, fuzzy feelings for Ukraine. Someone is paying for those bombs. And guess what? It's you. You're paying for them. Man, what a scam. What a scam. What a con all of this is, yeah? Where's the call for ceasefire in Ukraine? You can directly influence that, Mr. Blinken. You can directly influence that and press for that. You have a mandate, right, to run the foreign affairs of the United States. Of course you could achieve a ceasefire in Ukraine. Sudan, this is outside of your jurisdiction and your mandate. You have nothing to do with that, right? Or so we think for now, right? I'm being a bit cheeky now, because as I said, it's convenient for the Americans to have the Russian base, the naval base there delayed. I'm being cheeky, but just going back to my point, I want to see this energy, and I'm sure Ukrainians will want to see this energy for a ceasefire from you, Mr. Blinken, and from and Antonio Guterres and everybody else, because they don't even bother with diplomacy. There's no effort for a peace talks. The last time there was any sort of, any real sense of peace talks and negotiations, Boris Johnson, who was the British Prime Minister at that time, he hurried off to meet Zelensky and convinced him to pull out, and then everything fell apart. There's been nothing since, and it's only getting worse. So instead of warring with Russia, why not try diplomacy? Give that a chance, because all of the things that were somewhat good, like the grain corridor, although they used that to blow up the Crimea Bridge, didn't they? They used it as a cover. Nevertheless, the grain corridor, that was achieved through diplomacy, wasn't it? The prisoner swap that just took place, diplomacy. The prisoner swap between Russia and the United States, right? So Yaroshenko, the one I interviewed, diplomacy. No, diplomacy gets things done. Look at Iran, China, and Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia and Yemen, Saudi Arabia and Syria. Diplomacy's good. Maybe try it, since you're the top diplomat. Give it a chance, yeah?